Hey friends, and welcome back to your Magnetic Minute of Hope, your little 5 to 6 minute snippet to end your week to give you some insight, some wisdom, some somatic instruction for your weekend. And in this week's episode, I wanted to create sort of a continuation of an episode I did a couple weeks ago where I talked a little bit about shame. And I wanted to bring this forward because I think this conversation about shame can be so multi-layered, multifaceted, and can honestly be a little complex, more complex than I think we give it credit for. Because the thing about shame, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, is it doesn't always scream at us. Like, it's not always a really conscious emotion that we feel. A lot of times it whispers in really insidious ways. It doesn't always look like, really deep insecurity or self-loathing, although it can. But sometimes it looks like overgiving or staying silent or performing until we name it for what it is. Then we just keep living from it and we don't even know that it's shame. Because shame isn't just an emotion, it's this protective strategy that's really rooted in early conditioning. We develop these behaviors at a really early age to avoid feeling that core wound of I'm not enough. And I really do feel like as women, that is a very, I want to say it's across the board. That's a core wound of all of us. We're born with it. I've talked about this on this show before. Women, we have lived in through generations of being shamed for everything. So this is literally a generational wound that all of us carry. And we develop these behaviors to avoid feeling this core wound, even if those behaviors look functional or even admirable, some of them on the outside. But let's just call it what it is. This is just performative survival wrapped in productivity or people pleasing, right? That's what it is. So let's go beyond looking at just people pleasing and overgiving, because I want to bring these examples to you so that you can really see for yourself and really recognize how this shows up. Some little sneaky shame patterns. First, there's over-explaining, feeling the need to justify your decisions or your boundaries or any of that. There's hustling for worthiness, which we've talked a lot about on the show, believing that your rest or your stillness has to be earned through output. I have to do enough in order to earn my rest or stillness or etc., right? There's performing success, curating your image so that no one sees your mess, no one sees the real you. It's all performative. There's avoiding visibility, playing small so that you're not judged or rejected or being seen as too much or take up too much space. There's micromanaging or perfectionism. These kind of go together, in my opinion. And it's just trying to control everything to avoid being blamed or to avoid feeling disappointment, which is shame. There's fixating on your body, believing that your body has to look a certain way to be lovable or worthy or accepted. There's avoiding conflict, not speaking your needs or not speaking your truth just to keep the peace. And it kind of goes back to that fear of like being too much or, taking up too much space. You avoid conflict for that reason. There's not receiving support. So feeling guilty when you ask for help or when you accept it. You accept it, but it's like begrudgingly, and then you just feel guilt about it. You feel shame, guilt about it. There's shame through comparison. This one is so pervasive in my patterns, thinking I should be further along by now, right? And you're just comparing yourself to everybody. And then there's self-deprecation as safety, making yourself the punchline before anyone else can, right? You make yourself feel shame so no one else can make you feel that. All of these are such sneaky ways that shame shows up. And if we look at what shame feels like somatically, what all of these things have in common in terms of what they feel like in the body, it's the heavy constricted chest, it's the tense jaw, it's the shallow breath, it's the nervous smile, that kind of nervous feeling in your gut and your stomach. It's feeling flushed or hot. It's the impulse to shrink or hide or apologize or try to fix. All of this, we feel this in the body. And all of these, the list that I just gave you, can make us feel these somatically in the body. And so I challenge you here. My first challenge for you in this episode is, where do you feel it? Where do you feel it? What does it sound like in your thoughts? What does it make you want to do? Where do you feel it in your body? That's the first level of awareness. Now, I want to reframe this as we close up. Shame says, this part of me is not okay, but healing and the empowered embodiment says all of me is welcome here. The messy, the still evolving parts, the learning parts, the parts that have made mistakes, all of me is welcome here. This is the shift. It's not cutting off these little pieces and hiding them in a corner because you feel like it's not okay or not enough. It's accepting all of it and taking all of it with you to step into this empowered version of you. So it's going from hiding to honoring these parts of you. These parts of you served a purpose. They were to keep you safe at some point, at one point or another. It's going from performing to pausing and maybe contemplating, reflecting before feeling the need to be performative. It's going from contorting yourself to fit a certain mold or a certain image to coming home to yourself. So I want to leave you with this. There's no way for you to earn your enoughness. You don't need to shrink into some smaller, more palatable version of you, of yourself, to be loved, accepted, or successful. You get to be whole. You get to be unshameable. You get to be fully expressed right here, right now, because you made the choice. This is a choice. And with that choice comes that empowered embodiment I was just talking about, accepting all the parts of you without being ashamed or embarrassed or uncomfortable about these parts of you that exist. All of us, we've talked about parts work on this show so many times, and I have an episode you can go back a few weeks ago about these parts. All of them are here to serve you in some way, shape, or form. Just some of them we grow out of, and we don't need them to run the show. They can still exist. These parts of you that have felt the need to over-explain or hustle or perform, all those examples I gave you, but they don't have to run the show. We get to choose otherwise. So I invite you here as I close to, if you have the opportunity to close your eyes, put your hand on your heart and say to yourself, affirm with me, even here, I am worthy. Even now, I am safe, and I don't have to abandon myself to belong. I can accept all parts of me. I hope this serves you today and serves you this week, and I'll see you next time.